Miguel de Cervantes was a famous Spanish writer, best known for his novel Multiplied by Don Quixote, Multiplied by. This book is one of the most important works in world literature. Cervantes was born in 1547 in a small town called Alcalá de Henares, Spain. He grew up in a time when Spain was one of the most powerful countries in Europe. During his life, Cervantes experienced many difficulties, but he became one of the greatest writers in history. Cervantes was not only a writer but also a soldier. He served in the Spanish army and fought in the famous Battle of Lepanto in 1571. During this battle, he was injured and lost the use of his left hand. Despite his injury, Cervantes continued to serve in the military and later became a prisoner. He was captured by pirates in 1575 and spent 5 years in captivity in Algiers. After he was freed, Cervantes returned to Spain, but he faced many financial problems. In Spain, Cervantes worked as a tax collector and lived in different cities. However, his work was not always successful, and he had many struggles with money. Despite these difficulties, he continued to write and produce his works. One of his most famous works was Multiplied by Don Quixote, Multiplied by, which he began writing in 1605. The story of Multiplied by Don Quixote, Multiplied by tells the adventures of an old man named Alonso Quixano, who believes he is a knight named Don Quixote. He sets out on a journey to defend the helpless and fight for justice. Don Quixote is joined by his loyal friend, Sancho Panza, who is much more practical than Quixote. Although Quixote's adventures seem foolish to others, the story is a deep reflection on the nature of reality and imagination. Multiplied by Don Quixote, Multiplied by became an immediate success when it was first published. It was translated into many languages and became popular throughout Europe. Cervantes wrote a second part of the novel, Multiplied by Don Quixote Part 2, Multiplied by, which was published in 1615. In this second part, Don Quixote and Sancho continue their adventures, but they are more aware of the world around them. This part is more serious and reflects Cervantes' thoughts on the passing of time and the nature of life. Cervantes' writing style is known for its humor, depth, and creativity. His characters are well developed and complex, and his works explore themes like love, honor, and the relationship between reality and illusion. Although Cervantes' life was filled with challenges, his literary achievements are celebrated worldwide. He is often regarded as one of the greatest writers in history, alongside figures like William Shakespeare. Today, his works continue to inspire readers, scholars, and artists all over the world. Cervantes passed away in 1616, the same year as Shakespeare, though on a different date. His death marked the end of an era, but his legacy lives on through his works. In Spain and around the world, people still celebrate Cervantes' life and his contributions to literature. His works have been adapted into films, plays, and other forms of art. Cervantes' influence can be seen in many parts of modern culture, from literature to music to cinema. Even though he faced many struggles during his life, his writing has made him one of the most important figures in the world of literature. Through his works, Cervantes explored the complexities of human nature. His characters, especially Don Quixote and Sancho Panza, continue to be beloved by readers today. Their friendship and the way they see the world represent both the idealistic and the realistic sides of life. Cervantes' ability to mix humor with serious themes made his works unique and timeless. His legacy will continue to inspire future generations of readers and writers for many years to come. Cervantes was also a very creative writer who used many different styles. He wrote novels, plays, short stories, and poems. Many of his works reflect his deep understanding of the world and human behavior. His short stories, collected in a book called Multiplied by Exemplary Novels, Multiplied by, show his ability to create interesting and funny characters, while also making sharp observations about society. These stories include tales of love, adventure, and moral lessons. Cervantes had a unique way of blending comedy and tragedy, making his works both entertaining and thought-provoking. He was one of the first writers to focus on the inner lives of his characters, making them feel real and complex. Multiplied by Don Quixote, Multiplied by is perhaps the best example of this. In the novel, Cervantes explores the idea of illusion versus reality. Don Quixote's view of the world is shaped by the books he has read about knights and heroes. However, as he goes on his adventures, the world does not match his expectations. This creates many humorous situations, but it also raises questions about what is real and what is imagined. Cervantes' portrayal of Don Quixote's idealism and Sancho Panza's realism represents the tension between dreams and reality that many people face. Cervantes was also an important figure in the development of the Spanish language. He used a rich and varied vocabulary in his works, helping to shape the language we use today. His writing was influential not only in Spain, but also in Latin America, where his works were widely read and admired. Cervantes is often considered the father of modern Spanish literature. His influence extended beyond literature into art and philosophy. Artists and philosophers have been inspired by the themes and characters in Multiplied by Don Quixote, Multiplied by, and the novel continues to be studied in universities around the world. Cervantes' ability to create a world where humor, wisdom, and deep thoughts coexist makes his work timeless. Even in the 21st century, people still read Multiplied by Don Quixote, Multiplied by and other works by Cervantes. They continue to find new meanings in his stories and ideas. Cervantes also had an influence on other writers. Many authors, both during his time and after, were inspired by his work. Writers like Charles Dickens, Fyodor Dostoevsky, and Mark Twain all admired Cervantes. They were drawn to his complex characters and his ability to mix humor with deeper meanings. In fact, many people consider Multiplied by Don Quixote, Multiplied by to be one of the first modern novels, because of its complex structure and its focus on the inner life of its characters. Cervantes' work was also important for the way he looked at society. He was critical of many aspects of Spanish society, including the nobility, the church, and the government. In Multiplied by Don Quixote, Multiplied by, for example, Cervantes makes fun of the idea of knights and chivalry, which were once considered the highest form of honor. By doing this, he shows how society's values can change over time. His works also reflect his concern for the poor and the ordinary people of Spain. Cervantes' life was not easy, and he often faced difficult financial situations. Despite this, he was able to create works of art that continue to be admired today. His ability to keep writing, even in the face of hardship, is a testament to his dedication to literature. Cervantes' work is not just about the past. It continues to be relevant today. His exploration of human nature, his questions about reality and illusion, and his complex characters all speak to universal themes that everyone can understand. Cervantes' influence on literature is so great that it can be seen in many different genres and styles of writing. Writers around the world continue to be inspired by his creativity and his ability to tell stories that make readers think deeply. Today, Cervantes is celebrated every year on April the 23rd, the day he died. This day is known as World Book Day, and people all over the world celebrate books and reading. Cervantes' works are a key part of this celebration. Schools, libraries, and bookstores often hold special events in his honor. Through these celebrations, his legacy continues to inspire new generations of readers. Cervantes may have lived over 400 years ago, but his work is still an important part of world literature today. His ability to write about the complexity of life, the imagination, and the human spirit has made him one of the most important authors in history. Even though his life was filled with challenges, Cervantes left a lasting mark on the world, and his works will continue to be loved and appreciated for many generations to come.